What's up YouTube, Winterguard here. Today we're going to do part 3 in our series of super unique farming. So 1,000 runs per super unique boss, and we're going to finish out the trifecta of bosses that people normally farm in Act 5 because of their relative ease of access, which is Pendle, Eldritch, and Shenk. I've already covered the first two, so we're going to finish out on Shenk as far as these 3 bosses. So far it's been pretty decent. Shenk can be kind of surprising. I don't know why, but between the 3, I've noticed Shenk to be a little more, how should I say this? A little more generous in his loot for whatever reason. I couldn't tell you why. Pendle actually is higher as far as loot tables he could drop from. Shenk and Eldritch are the same, but for whatever reason, Shenk usually pays out a little bit better than the other 2, and I'll show you that when we get to the compilation of drops after this. But I'm going to go over a couple things real quick. I'm going to show you how this is being set up. I'm running a Lightning Sork with exactly 500 Magic Find, as you see here. This is not going to change regardless of gear I use. I'm kind of using 500 as a baseline for the numbers we get, so that we don't have any variance in that. But also I'm going to show you real quick how you get to Shenk if you're not aware of the boss. And if you, I'll put a link to the other 2 videos I've already done for Pendle and Eldritch if you want to see those. But Shenk is also one of the easier ones to get to, as you can see here. We're going to go to Frigid Highlands. If you go north, you go to Eldritch, and if you go south, you go to Shenk. And he's right here. He's known as Shenk the Overseer. He's always got this pack of mobs around him. Usually kills him very quickly, and then his storm from the catapults usually finishes off the surrounding mobs around him. So you can get a pretty good bit of loot just on the initial kill, and if you want to farm around afterwards, you can do that as well. But that's typical, and as you see, it's extremely quick with this setup. It might vary depending on the type of character you run. But what do we know about Shenk? Shenk is a monster level 83. So for those that are aware of the treasure classes, there's no treasure class 83 table. It goes from 81 to 84 to 87. However, he does drop from the 84 treasure class. He doesn't drop from the highest one, so be mindful of that. He will drop up to Zod runes, so can drop basically all the runes. From what I've noticed, and you'll see this in the runs if you do these very much, for whatever reason, Shenk, and it's probably because of the mobs that you get from the kill, I mean, his pack is larger than Eldritch's pack. So more mobs equals more chance of rune drops. I noticed a marked difference between the 2, however. I mean, probably almost a 10-to-1 count as far as rune drops. There's no numbers to back up that Shenk drops more runes, so you can attribute that to just the number of mobs that are around him. But we're going to get into the compilation now, and then, as I did before, we'll crunch the numbers as far as number of set and unique drops that we got from the total 1,000 runs. And from there, we'll probably move on to, I'm thinking Nilithok next as far as super unique bosses. We're not going to do any of the end bosses, even though they are technically considered super unique as well. And we'll probably continue this up until probably Ladder for now. Ladder is technically going to probably happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks from release of this video. So, of course, once Ladder starts, everybody's going to jump that direction. So that'll probably be my move as well. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll try to get in as many super unique boss runs as possible up until that point. So if you enjoyed the video, give me a like and subscribe. My Discord link is in the description, as well as my stream schedule. I try to stream at least 3 days a week, if not more. So join me there as well. But let's get into the compilation, and then we'll run the numbers afterwards. Okay, so as you can see, these of the three bosses that I've run so far, Shenk by far the more profitable, if you want to look at it that way, as far as more valuable items. Of course, we got the Burr Rune, which pretty big deal. That probably topped off all the drops that we got off of Shenk. However, I mean, there was multiple others. Like this Ormus is actually pretty decent, being that it's a lightning Ormus. With unfortunately of the damage, elemental damage random rolls, we got the lowest out of the lightning. But they all top at 15%. So this is a really decent Ormus as far as the random skill that rolls and the damage on it. Then of course we got a towel, which is pretty crazy, and then the boots, as well as a 5% Ariat. So the drops off of Shenk were just, for the most part, were pretty useful, either early or late game. So I would say out of those three bosses, Shenk probably was the biggest payoff. As far as the numbers, I did not keep the rune drop numbers. Unfortunately, I wish I'd have thought of that ahead of time, and we could have got a better comparison between the three. I will say that of the three that running 1,000 runs per, there was way more rune drops just in general. I didn't show all of them. I got multiple foul and runes, so there was a lot of mid-tier runes that I just didn't show. Just wasn't worth putting into the compilation. But we got a lot of runes off of Shenk, as well as the Burr rune, which of course kind of tops it all off. As far as the numbers, we're looking at not as quite as many unique and sets. Uniques actually topped the list this time with 49, where sets were at 41. So 90 total out of 1,000 runs. So you're looking at about a 9% drop rate per run, which isn't horrible, but it's a little lower than the other two. But again, most people run these consecutively. They'll usually hit Pendle, then jump up to Highlands and hit Shenk and Eldritch both and reset a lot of times. So most times these three guys are run together. So there is that as well. But we're going to go ahead and probably move to Neolithok next, and maybe Thresh Socket afterwards. I kind of want to start in Act 5 and work down, because of course the monster level is going to go down as we get into the lower acts. But that of course is ladder dependent. So we'll kind of leave it there for now. Again, if you enjoyed the video, give me a like and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you got any other ideas as far as maybe some not as farmed super uniques that would be interesting to look at. But we'll leave it here. You guys have a great day. Keep on farming.